What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now with this video, we are jumping into Excalibur issue number 24. And if you haven't been keeping up with the Excalibur line, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on in this line. And this issue is huge. This issue is the trial of Captains Britain. Now right now the UK has been working with the Coven, working with Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. These individuals all working together are trying to expel mutants from Otherworld. We have seen mutants openly being attacked, calling them friends of Mordred, and that is because Mordred himself is in fact a mutant. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in the Vampire Nation, in the Vampire Kingdom in Otherworld. And right now, Captain Britain is sitting down and having a glass of wine with the two regents of this sector. And that's because their Furies were shouting accusations that they were friends of Mordred. That while they may be mutants, while Mordred may be a mutant and they share the same mutant gene, he is no friend to mutant kind. Just as Morgan Le Fay is also not a friend to mutant kind. But as it stands, mutant kind is becoming extremely unpopular. Tons and tons of kingdoms in Otherworld are starting to reject that mutant kind even has a place there in Otherworld. But the reason that she is here is that she was attacked on her family's land. And so through proxy, this is an attack, this is an act of war on Avalon. Now these guys, they talk in circles, they talk in metaphors, they talk about their immortality, they talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but they don't actually give her an answer. But there is somebody here in the Vampire Kingdom that might be able to answer that question for her. But that's when we're taken to the Crooked Market. And right now, Gambit, he's kind of, making side deals with people inside the market, trying to get some ore, trying to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, exchanging golds for goods, so on and so forth. But that's when Mad Jim shows up. And Mad Jim is really just telling him, why are you working in my market when you're not licensed to do so? You're not licensed to sit here and sell goods, so you're doing this illegally. You're breaking the rules of the market. And of course, Gambit, trying to be slick, trying to be sly, tells him, if there's something you need, I can bring it back, especially with the gate being closed down, people not being able to go to Earth or Krakoa or anything like that. Right now, it's a hard time. And so if you need something, I can bring it to you. Now, of course, Mad Jim, he finds this as an insult. Because if he simply wanted tea or anything, he could just make it happen. He's a puppet master of the very threads of reality. And so there's absolutely nothing that he could ever want or ask for that Gambit could give him that he couldn't get himself. And he tells Gambit that this is your final warning. If I catch you trying to sell and work your angles in this market again, it will be the last time I ever have to say anything to you. And as he goes to walk off, he asks him if he's even concerned, if Mad Jim is concerned with the idea of mutants getting kicked out of Otherworld. Now, of course, he's not concerned with this because he's a very, very wealthy individual. Not only that, but he's a reality warper. So this threat from any kingdom or any place he's not concerned about because it's either going to affect the poor or it's going to affect the less powerful. Either way, he has no concerns over it. And that's what takes us to the Floating Kingdom. Now, this Floating Kingdom is more of a sanctuary than anything else. This place isn't necessarily going to be in the war, or at least we can assume that it's not going to be affected by everything happening down on the surface. And Jubilee has come here because she needs a safe haven for Shogo, too afraid that Dragonfire is going to be hugely sought after if there is a war that happens. If war breaks out between Otherworld, between mutants and the other individuals in Otherworld, Jubilee is terrified that the dragon will be used against them. Captured, killed, something of that manner. And so she has come to Lady Roma, and she has done this in some kind of effort to be able to protect him, to have some kind of safe haven if things ever do kick off. Not only that, but it is just a great place for a dragon to be able to fly and go out and do all of these freeing things that a dragon should be able to do. But that's all gonna happen in due time, because right now Jubilee just is not ready to give this up, not ready to give up her best friend. And so while this will definitely happen eventually, for the time being, they are going to be in each other's company. And then we're picking up in the province of Dryador. Shatterstar, Richter, and Bay the Blood Moon have all come here just to see if someone has set up shop here. But as they drive through, this place is a boneyard, an absolute wasteland. Because the Iraqi people, the Iraqi mutants, they burn their seas with hellfire. They scorch this land, and it appears that nothing has ever returned to grow back. And though we haven't seen Apocalypse a lot, we haven't seen him at all actually since the Ten of Swords event happened, but we do know that he is with his wife and he is in Ameth. And we know that because they're talking about it. They're having a conversation about how they're not going to open this gate up because it's not something Apocalypse would want. And that is what's going to take us to Captain Britain and Death. These two having it out, but it's just sparring. And while they have this sparring match, telepathically, Captain Britain starts talking to Death, asking him if he knows anything about what is going on, why they are being attacked. With him living in the vampire kingdom, he might be one of the few individuals that's going to have knowledge on what's going on. And Death lets her know, like, what more clarification do you need? They sent an assassin after you. That's it. That's all you need to know right there. But Captain Britain wants to know, is this an attack against me, or is this an attack against Avalon? But Death, he raises the possibility that it might not be the Regents that are sending people after you. Right now, there is discourse throughout the entirety of Otherworld, and it's very possible that the Regents are trying to save face because they don't know who sent these assassins after you. They could very well be in the midst of their own coup. And that's because everybody is being affected by mutants in one way or another, whether it be good or bad. That is the sentiment that is going around right now. Now, of course, Captain Britain doesn't understand why Death is not also being targeted, considering he is a mutant. Now, Death's not entirely sure that they understand that they understand the concept that Death is in fact a mutant and an X gene, so on and so forth. But he's also not someone to hide it. And he's also not an individual that will not defend mutant kind. And as Captain Britain goes to leave, she says that Storm was right about you. Now, of course, this piques Death's interest because Death has been interested in Storm since the moment he laid eyes on her. And hearing the simple thing that Storm talks about and remembers him is a huge deal to him. Captain Britain ensuring that she will say hi for him to Storm. And as Captain Britain goes to get out of here, she learns very quickly that she has some hostiles trailing right behind her. The Furies coming in directly behind them. And so while the Regents, they tried to save face, it is very obvious that war is coming. War is about to break out. And picking up later that evening, we have Team Excalibur meeting up, getting ready to go to the Citadel. And she tells her team that you might enjoy this time, enjoy this night, because this might be the last night of peace that we have for a very, very long time. And that's what picks us up at the trial of the false Captain Britons. And you have three multiversal anomalies. You have Captain Britain Richter, Captain Britain Gambit, and Captain Britain Rogue. And with Saturn IX being the judge, all of the Captain Britons have made their way here, and Captain Britain of Earth 616 is going to be the one that speaks for everybody. And addressing everyone, she knows that these Captain Britons, they have been unjustly on trial since the moment of their creation. They ought to be hailed as heroes because their realities are not destroyed. And they only wish to continue serving for the greater good, serving the greater reality of Otherworld. And even as this moment, many of these Captain Britons that stand in this room are outranked by these Captain Britons. And so she's simply asking that they be spared. But in the midst of her conversation, this is when things go sideways. The Captain Britons, they all attack one individual. Proclaiming to be unhand, the Captain Britons will not do so, because this individual has been threatening Saturn IX, has been threatening the Citadel, and that individual is Merlin. But Merlin has come because he says he brings a witness, one to speak on the dangers of mutant kind. Now, of course, Saturn IX, she doesn't want to hear it. They've heard his testimony, and she lets him know that he is not welcome in this Citadel. But of course, he is not the witness he brings. The witness he brings is King Arthur, father to Mordred, forgotten king of Avalon. And with him seeing mutants on his throne, mutant Captain Britain, and mutants filling the Starlight Citadel, Arthur has come for some kind of answers. And with him, he has brought the entirety of his army. Now, Saturn IX lets Merlin know that Arthur, he's been gone for years, and Otherworld as a whole has been truly better for it. And so we see our Captain Britain, she wants to go parlay with Arthur. She wants to try to avoid any kind of war, but of course she's not going to go out there alone. With Arthur wanting the Captain Britain Corps, bringing it down to its knees, she's going to bring out her other team. She's going to bring out Excalibur. And as Captain Britain makes her way down to the ground, she introduces herself to King Arthur. And she lets him know that Merlin is trying to declare war against the Starlight Citadel on your behalf because your son Mordred is a mutant. But King Arthur, he has another story to tell, saying that Mordred, his son, was the rightful heir to the throne, that he should have been king, he should have followed in his footsteps. The only issue is, he is a mutant. And because he is a mutant, that means my son will more than likely choose mutant kind over his own father. And this is what Merlin showed him, disbelieving that his son would ever betray him for anything or anyone. After being shown the mutants, after being shown that Mordred would in fact betray him for mutant kind, this is what sent Arthur on a warpath. This is why he wants mutants exiled from Otherworld. And so with the logic is, if he kills all of the mutants, there is nobody for his son to turn to. Nobody except for him. And with that, we see the battle break out, with Arthur and Captain Britain clashing swords. The rest of Team Excalibur jump into the fray. As this fight starts to take off, we see Captain Avalon and a bunch of the other Captain Britons make their descent down here. Now, of course, Betsy, she wants her family to be taken out of here so they're safe and not in harm's way. But they have come to let her know that they are here to fight with her, side by side against Arthur. And with the forces reforming up, Captain Britain lets Arthur know one last time that Merlin is currently captive by the captains up in the Citadel. That if Arthur is to leave, they will return him. He will remain on the council, but he is not allowed inside the Citadel. That he will have to send a proxy anytime he wishes to discuss anything inside of the Citadel. That she has tried for so long to make mutants not the enemy, so that people in Otherworld did not fear mutants. But today she is making a proclamation, telling Arthur that if his army takes one more step forward, they will all be destroyed. And of course, Arthur doesn't care. He has come for one thing, and that is to exterminate all of mutant kind. And as the battle wages down on the ground up in the Citadel, Merlin is laughing, he's cackling, saying this is the beginning. This is the beginning of Otherworld's war. That you can't stop this war, you can't fix it now. Kingdoms are going to choose sides. Every kingdom is going to decide, is the witchbreed worth keeping here? Do they belong in Otherworlds, or do they belong banished forever? And in an instant, we see Merlin disappear, with Merlin vanishing into thin air. They no longer have any kind of leverage. And this war wages on underneath the Citadel. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. There was a crap ton that happened in this issue. But really, this is the build up to the war. The war that is supposed to be engulfing all of Otherworld. With Arthur being manipulated by Merlin. With Mordred being a mutant. Arthur felt like he had no other choice but to wage war. Now, obviously, Arthur isn't a great guy in the Marvel Universe. He's definitely someone that has caused more problems in Otherworld than ever before. Even Saturn9 said, "It's been great since you have been gone." But now with his return, it throws everything into chaos. With things already bordering when it comes to witchbreed, when it comes to mutants, Arthur is that straw that breaks the camel's back. He is the individual that ignites this fire. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.